maybe 61-57 at that point. And I think like the last two, 42-50. We turned the ball over too much. I thought our turnovers in the first half really hurt us. We didn't close the quarter real well. I think when it was a 4 or 5 point game, and I think whatever it was, I think they won a 12-0 run, to close out the half. So we certainly dug ourselves a hole. I thought the difference in the game was was the foul line for them. We fouled too much. I think the other parties give them credit. They shot astronomically well. To shoot like that, even if no one's guarding you, is terrific. I mean, that was 20, 23s on a very low number. And then the other thing, as I mentioned, the turnovers. I thought those three things in the close of the second quarter really hurt.
What do you decide to go get 3-point shooting?
Well, they were 9 for 14 in the first half on contested threes, and that's what we believe in. And we tried to contest. There's obviously, with their size, you've got to provide help at the rim and protect the paint. That was the problem. Was they shot the ball. Now listen, they had some open shots. I'm not sitting there saying every single one of them. I don't know what they were in the second half, but the first half they were 9 for 14 on contested threes, and they have not been a great 3-point shooting team, and they shot it great today. Give them credit. Now some of them in the second half, because we were bringing help, because we were fouling, and we're trying to protect the basket with Davis and with LeBron, and even some of those guys on the glass, we were in, and then that certainly left Prince open a few times, and then Russell made a lot of really tough shots. Give him credit. I think he was 8 for 13 from 3. I mean, he made some really tough shots. So thank you. That's give him credit for that.
Billy, you guys have taken care of the ball pretty well all season. You're third in the league, and when you just off the top of your head, was it something they were doing with your turnovers, or were you guys making careless mistakes?
I thought in the beginning of the game, the way we were attacking was kind of the right way. I thought we lost our way a little bit offensively. They got a little bit bigger. That's why I tried to go a little bit bigger in the second half with Andre and Vooch out there. I think that they were in some passing lanes. They really tried to protect the paint. I thought they gambled, on some of it. Some of it was, like we had advantages and we telegraphed the advantage, and they kind of jumped out in the passing lanes and were disruptive. And I thought early in the game, at least through the first quarter and a half, I thought we managed that really well. Now, the problem was not only did they shoot the ball incredibly well, but, the turnovers were alive. So you look at the points off the turnovers, that was really a major problem. And we have done a pretty good job of taking care of the ball, but we had some ones where we started to break and the ball got tipped away from us. We had some extra passes that got deflected, and went off our hands out of bounds. I wouldn't say uncharacteristic turnovers, but turnovers that were tough to recover from to even get back in transition, and they were able to capitalize.
Like you said, they were scoring even uncharacteristically high off those turnovers. Mm-hmm. What do you think wasn't working in terms of the way you guys were reacting once you did cough up those turnovers?
I mean, defensively, you mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I have to look at them. It's hard, because generally when there's a live ball turnover like that, for the most part, the offense is going to have some kind of advantage coming back. So I'll see how well we tried to get back on turnovers and mistakes. I don't know off the top of my head. Some of them were really hard just because, it turns out to be a 2-on-1 or 3-on-2 or just a complete 1-on-0. Fast break, you can't really do anything about it. But the live ball turnovers definitely hurt us, quite a bit. And some of it was like, I thought they were really protecting the paint, and we tried to talk a little bit about it at halftime. What was open was the perimeter, and I think we kind of at times got a little bit too deep and didn't recognize the pass that was open was the easy pass, the one that was in front of us. I thought we did a pretty good job of making that pass earlier in the game, and we shot the ball fairly well from 3. I think we stopped doing that, and to their credit, they had some length. They did some switching. They did some different things, to try to disrupt us too. And some of that led to turnovers.
Billy, both of these franchises know obviously what Alex Caruso can bring to a team. I'm just curious, what has been your favorite part of coaching him?
I mean, there's a lot, to him. He's really high IQ. He's smart. Really great competitor. Thrives in it. Loves it. Great teammate. Very vocal. As a leader. Brings a lot to the team in terms of helping guys. Solely all about winning. That's the only thing he cares about is winning. And he's willing to do a lot of things that don't show up in a stat sheet. Does a lot of things that, maybe you can't measure. But he's a winning player, and he's an impactful player, and he does it. Now, I'll give him credit. He's really improved his three-point shooting this year. And from where he was, even when I was with him in Oklahoma City, and even seeing him in college at A&M, he's worked really hard to become a really, really good three-point shooter. But besides that, there's things that he does that, a lot of people don't enjoy doing. But he understands that, it's really important to winning, and that's what he's about.
Hey, Billy, Alex came out and was pretty aggressive in that early on, scoring-wise. Where do you think his ceiling is as a scorer? Because he put so much effort in defensively, and he doesn't seem to want to give away that effort on defense. Is a guy like him kind of have a ceiling offensively, or do you think he can continue to kind of go in that direction offensively?
I think I give him credit because I think last year, and we talked about this going into the summer, I thought he bypassed a lot of three-point shots that were open. He'd miss a couple and be a little bit hesitant because he's a team guy, and hey, I don't want to miss another one here. Maybe I'll get it to somebody else. And I think, after talking to him, he realized that he needed to take those. And I really appreciate and respect that the fact that he is unfazed if he misses a couple. If he's open, he's getting that thing ready and he's shooting. And then I think he's done a really good job of being able to get to the rim, and finish. And I think that's opened things up for him as well. And he's got good vision passing-wise. But I think, to where he was, even when I was in Oklahoma with him, to where he is today is pretty amazing, the growth that he's made. And he picks things up pretty quickly. He's very, very bright. But, he's not going to generate threes off the dribble for himself, but he can generate off the dribble to get downhill and create some pressure at the basket and assist, and he can get to the rim. But he's really done a great job, I think, in catch and shoot situations. And when teams have run him off the line, he's very, very fundamental. If you watch him when he catches it, he's always got his shoulders and head and eyes at the basket, and he's really, really fundamentally sound with the way he plays offense for a guy that's, maybe not like this, would you classify like elite offensive player? He's very fundamentally sound.
Billy, obviously.
Thank you. This is great, Beth. Water, mints, it's fantastic. It's unbelievable.
Obviously nothing for the media. Yeah. Obviously, your
Here you go, Sam.
Thank you, Bill. Finally, something.
Yeah.
Your preference tends to be playing small defensively, and Alex does some remarkable stuff. Strips LeBron a couple of times, forced him in a turnover, and in the third quarter there you went with the two big guys into the fourth, which is a longer stretch. Yeah. But this team, you were overloading to LeBron, and then he's getting a lot of open threes to guys. Do you have to rethink that, because they took advantage a couple of times, and, he posted up Alex in the post. They got some easy baskets that way. Can you continue to play, small that way, even though Alex is so good against some of these teams at such size?
Yeah, I didn't necessarily think Alex was. I thought he did a pretty good job. Now, the way we started the game was we had Alex on D'Angelo Russell to start the game, just because he had been. He certainly, when we played him in Chicago, he's really played maybe much better than he did at our place, right? So we started Alex on him. Felt like Patrick was a good matchup, with LeBron. There were situations where we got cross-matched or switched up, and Coby was on him, and some other people were on him, and he's just a hard matchup down there. And I think a lot of times he wants you to send double teams to him so he can get his passing into the game, But there's going to be like that. Their lineup to be able to play Andre and Vooch together was good, because Vanderbilt sometimes will space to the corner, but for the most part, he's coming to offensive rebound. He's coming to you as a player. Wood, even with Hachimura, like there was matchups for Drum and Vooch out there for both of those guys, when they were a little bit bigger. I'm not opposed to playing bigger, but there are some times where it can be tough matchups for Vooch. But they're hard. They're hard because, LeBron's down there. And if you bring help too much and too quickly, to your point, you give things up. And sometimes if you just play him, and I thought there was times we could have come to help. The issue for us was like in that second quarter, it wasn't really like Hachimura was posting up. We fouled him twice at the rim. Those guys were the ones that were really kind of causing some damage. And I'm not taking away from what LeBron did in the game, but that's kind of what he does. And he kind of really tries to pick you apart down there. So I felt fine with Alex there, but I thought Patrick got spun on a couple times baseline. But just our help wasn't there. Like, we weren't there early enough and aggressive enough for each other in those situations. Because, listen, you guys have seen Alex guard Kevin Durant and a lot of different guys. He's as good as there is out there, and sometimes you're just not going to stop those guys with one player. You're going to need, and I've said this all the time, team-wise. I just didn't think we were there enough. When we did get there to get the ball out of those guys' hands, I thought our rotations on the back end were not as good or as clean as they needed to be.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep, thank you.